Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson. Are trans women women? Are trans women the same as cis women? Why do we say trans women are women? Or why do we say that they're not women? This is something to explore and talk about today. I've been thinking about this on and off because I find it confusing, to be honest. Like, when we say trans women are women, it's like this, it doesn't fit exactly for me because I get the different perspectives and they don't all line up. So you have this one perspective where it's like, hey, we're trying to get trans rights, trans women to be accepted because they want to be accepted as women and they want to be treated as women. They don't even want to be seen as trans. They just want to be women. So can we just progress the conversation to the point where people who are women can be women, regardless of if they were born and assigned male at birth or just assigned female at birth? Like, can they just be women? So I get that. That's kind of important. But it's an oversimplification because you also have the fact that as a trans woman, my experience is very different than a cis woman's experience and vice versa, right? Like, the different challenges, the indoctrination, all of the things that get in the way and make your life harder as a cis woman versus a trans woman, it's like they're different and also the same. It's like you don't have, as a cis woman, you never have this whole like surgery path that you have to struggle with. And you don't have like the whole like being accepted or having to deal with all of the people that don't accept you for being a woman. Like that is the dumbest thing that could possibly happen, but that is what happens. It's like you just want to be a woman. That's it, table stakes. But people have a lot of thoughts and opinions and ideas of if you can or can't be a woman. And who's supposed to say, you know? So it's like, if you're a cis woman, you don't have that. But what you do get is you get this this indoctrination since birth that you are this and that's how you should be, and these are the constraints put upon you because you're a woman and you are going to adopt these and live with these, and that's how it is, and this is how you should be. And those are implanted into you from a very, very early age. You don't question them, and you grow up thinking of it yourself as a woman in this kind of way. And I noticed this with cis women that I don't have, which is they have a level of expertise with makeup, beauty, and self-care, and a level of perception and emphasis or actual disregard for the beauty industry and beauty standards and how they should look, because they've already been validated as a woman. And so they don't have the same struggle that I have as a trans woman, which is validation and being seen as a woman. That doesn't exist for them. So they can say, well, you know what? I don't need to look beautiful. I can discard the beauty industry. I can discard how I speak. I can speak with a deeper tone. I can act more masculine, whatever you want it to be. Or some people, women who are like on the other side of the fence, who have been indoctrinated with beauty standards and how to appear, and they go full swing into that because that's how they have been taught how they can be valued and valuable, which is like a whole nother way of being a woman, right? And so that kind of, you have this range of extreme femininity and like pursuit of beauty and all of that. And then you have the other one, which is like, I've been down that road and now I oppose it to some level, or I oppose it completely, and there's like everything in between. But there's never really an underlying struggle of like, am I fighting to be seen as a woman? Like, that just isn't a part of the dialogue. On the other hand, as a trans woman, it's like I'm grown up being told I'm a boy and then told this is what's acceptable behavior for you, this is what is good for you, and this is ideal, but you're not allowed to kind of step into this range. So when I think about growing up, it's like military, guns, army, like computer games, video games, like these are all very acceptable range for what a boy can do growing up. But like liking pretty princess stuff and things like that, that's not really allowable and not really supported. You're strange or wrong for liking that. So you kind of stay in this domain. And I actually honestly had no problem with that. Like I still like guns today. I still like video games, computer games. I own a few guns. Like that's a whole nother topic, but I like these things and they make me happy. And I've been learning how to embrace that more as a trans woman. It's like, I kind of had to be oppositional to this because it's tomboyish, but now that I am valid in my own womanality, I find it okay for me to step back into spaces that I initially saw as identified with being masculine and male, right? But that's kind of like that growing up means that beauty standards and all of the expectations of how you need to look are seen from the perspective of how you see other women, right? Because you see that you're told that you need to be a man and that you need to step up in these kinds of ways, and this is the expectation of you in society. But beauty is not one of them. So you kind of discard beauty, or if you are one of those people who knew you were a woman, trans woman from very early on, maybe you struggled with trying to embrace beauty when people wouldn't allow you to. But for me, I dodged this bullet of like chronic dysphoria growing up because I just didn't know. And instead it was like, oh wait, like I'm a woman. Oh shit, like beauty standards. Oh my God, now I am not beautiful because I don't look good, I don't fit well, and I'm afraid of being seen as a man in a dress. And that's like the larger struggle that a trans woman goes through because they have to fight for their own validity and they have to be seen as, they want to be seen as who they are. And in this today's world, it's still not acceptable to like not look like a good woman. Like if I don't look like a woman to other people, I'm lucky if they just accept me for who I am. I'm lucky. It's not like a table stakes thing. It's luck. It's like a good thing. Oh my God, so blessed that I have friends that accept me, right? Like, but if I show up and I take on the mannerisms of being a woman, I sound like a woman, I act like a woman, I have my hair done, I have my makeup, like that suddenly becomes way more valuable to me because it enables to position my piece on the playing board as firmly in the female territory rather than trying to fight for that space. Whereas cis women don't have to fight for that space. They're like, I've always grown up being a woman, people see me as a woman, that's it. So like when we say trans women are women, it's like, yes, they are women, but there's like an entirely different struggle going on here. Like cis women have like indoctrination from a very early age of what it means to be a woman, and they either counter that or they work with it. Trans women, on the other hand, don't necessarily have that particular indoctrination. They get exposed to it and they see it in action, but what they get indoctrinated with is they're not allowed to be a woman, and these things are not acceptable, and they may start to repress and create their own inner transphobia against themselves and say that they can't be. And that's like one of the initial stages to get over when you are transitioning, right? And I've got many videos about that. So like when I think about like, are we trying to, how much time do I have? Okay, cool. 8 minutes, I can't see very well. So like when I'm trying to get this, wrap my mind around like, are trans women and are cis women like not trans, but are they equated? Can they be equal? No, I just don't think they can be. Like the struggle that I have is kind of compounding. I feel like it's double as hard to be a trans woman than it is to be a cis woman because I have the entropy of being in a male body, having testosterone, not having a vagina, not like having to have money for surgery, and all of the struggles saying you are not, and all of the people that will never accept me for who I am, and all of the people that I get denied from continually, which is like super, it hurts I can't reduce this. I mean, I can reduce this pain, but it never gets old how painful this is every time a guy flirts with me, likes me, finds out I'm trans, and then discards me. That whole thing is just like this constant reminder of how I am a valid woman, I am attractive, and this would be my woman life if I just didn't have this thing between my legs and I wasn't read as this way and there was this whole stigma. Because it's like I can live the fantasy with a person that I'm flirting with or talking to, a straight guy, but then suddenly that fantasy completely falls apart the minute I am trans. And I can never pursue that. I can never have that life fully. I mean, with a vagina, maybe things will be different, but I don't know if they'll ever be completely that, because I can never have a child, for example. And I do have to have this conversation with my partner at some point in the future. If I do have a partner and I do have a vagina and I don't tell them early on in the relationship, I'm eventually going to tell them, right? That has to happen. So, yeah, it's just like the struggle is completely different. So like, I mean, when you think about this in sports, like how do we... Oh my God, Ashley, are you going to go into the sports topic? I don't know. I'm going to dance around this topic because it's pretty loaded. It's a pretty fucking loaded topic. I'll just say that, oh, no, I ran out, but I do have this camera running. I'll just say that, like, when you're thinking about sports, it really depends on the type of sport, in my opinion, because when you have, oh God, I'm going to need to make another video for this. This is just like totally too big of a topic. So I'll just say this. I think it depends. And I think it also calls into question how we define sports and how we define competition. And like, if we're talking about MMA, like we have evidence of seeing a trans woman beat the shit out of a cis woman in a way that is just like not acceptable. And I can't like fully back that. But like, there are other sports where it feels like totally acceptable. I just think the criteria needs to be